Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Spice Queen. I am a body painter. I'm relatively new here on YouTube. I do most of my artwork on Twitch. So this is just going to be a sped up stream that I did not very long ago. I'm doing a series based off of the major arcana of tarot. So this first look is based off of the Fool. So to start this look, I just took a black eyeshadow and I traced out the pattern of the collar that I wanted to create on my chest. Once I was happy with that, I decided to start filling in with my base colors as opposed to outlining because I wanted to give it a softer look. You can see that I'm interacting with my chat a lot. We have a great time on stream. I'm live Thursday through Saturdays. I try to do a body paint at least once a week. And now that I have this series going, it will definitely be at least once a week that we do it. If you're interested in joining us on Twitch for the live stream of these paints, the link is down below in my description. We're always very happy to have new friends join us. So I'm still going in with this white color. This is going to be a white and red based look. You can see there that I kind of went over my outline because I wasn't happy with where I had drawn that line originally. That's the beauty of tracing out where you're going to be working before you commit. We were talking about tattoos there. I was explaining that the most painful tattoo that I got was the one on my arm there, right up in the armpit region. It was not pleasant. It was cool though because I actually got to watch them do that tattoo on me. It helped me out quite a bit with the pain. So now I'm just going in with my deep red shade. We're gonna fill in all of those blank spots. Start to get the look of the collar coming together here. If you're wondering what that moving pile is behind me on my bed, that's my dog Denver. He is a Cane Corso. Or an Italian Mastiff, if you prefer. He is 140 pounds, and all he does is sleep behind me during these streams. He loves it. He gets lots of treats as well. As you can tell, he's a little spoiled. Just interacting with chat, saying hello to all my new friends. Once I get this base done, we'll go in with a black shadow. I use a black shadow and a dark red shadow to create some shading. Alright, so we're going to jump ahead a little bit here and start some outlining. Once you get all of your colors in place, we're just going to add this slight definition between the two layers to make it really be differentiated from itself. So it looks like it's a two-tiered collar as opposed to just one funky looking piece of fabric on our skin. So I will go through this middle section with the black as well as the bottom here. It's going to give it a firmer edge to make it really stand out from the skin that you're painting on. Just doing a little dance, nothing new. Just deepening some of those lines to give it a little more definition. Then I'm going to start to work on the neck. So up here I wanted to create the illusion that this was a collar. So I added a darker bit in the middle, doing more dances there, as well as some ruffles coming out from the top. So I'm going to be doing a black liner followed by some white paint, and then we'll top it off with more of that black line. As far as the paints that I am using, I use the Mayron water activated paradise paints. I love them. I will never paint with anything else ever again. They dry down so smooth and they have never cracked, and they stay in place, sorry. Yeah, I can't sing high enough praises. I know that I'm new to the community, but I was recommended to these by a body painter that I follow on Twitch. Her name is Jari, and she actually was a big inspiration on getting me going into this community. I've always done traditional art, mostly in pencil, but this was a new venue for me to travel down, and so far I'm loving every second of it. So shout out to Jari for her helping me get the confidence to get started. I'm just finishing up these upper ruffles, chatting quite a bit, laughing at jokes. Oh, I think I smudged it there. The beautiful thing about water activated paints is that if you mess up, all you have to do is wipe it with a little bit of water. I think I use a makeup wipe, which also works, but it comes right off. So you can get really sharp defined edges, which is awesome for body painting or any form of art, really. And just going in with my black body paint with a fine tipped brush to get the edges done on those ruffles on the neck. I kept smudging it when I was looking down, so make sure that you air dry before you move around with these paints. They will move up until the point that they're dried down. All right, I believe it is time to get started with the shading. Oh, more smudges. Okay, so yes, here I go. I'm using my James Charles palette to create some shading. Here I'm going in with the shade Raspberry to kind of blend together the red and the white patches on this bottom layer, just to give it some more depth. I'll also use the black shade from the James Charles palette to create more shadows and even more depth. This will really give the illusion that that top layer is popping out and that it is a separate piece of fabric. Alright, so now we have a nice layer of definition between the two pieces on the collar. I'm now going in with a white Mayron body paint to add some highlights. I'm not going to overly highlight the bottom because I do want it to appear to be shadowed by that top portion, but I want to give it the look that it is still being hit by a light from above. Don't get me wrong here, I am no professional when it comes to highlights and shadows. It is something that I'm still working on as an artist. But this bit is probably my favorite because it really brings the look together. You can see how the slight bit of difference of adding those white highlights really makes that bottom piece pop. Here I am just using a fine tip makeup brush to get the small line detail that I want out of this, but still being able to blend it. Now we go on to the top layer and do the same thing. If your lines do get too harsh, don't be afraid to use your fingertip to kind of smudge them out a little bit and make them look a little bit more blended in. I went very heavy on the highlight on this top portion because I want it to look like it is on top. I want it to look like a separate layer. That is also why I did such deep shadowing on the very top portion of that bottom segment. Went a little crazy with the highlight there, but that's okay. We have our fingers to blend. Just adding some more lines, a little more detail. I want this highlight to really make this piece pop. Alright, so now we're going to switch over to lining the places between the stripes on the collar. I started off by using my black Mayron paint with a very fine brush, and I'm only lining the very top parts and the very bottom edges. I want the middle to stay relatively combined. I don't want it to look like there are any harsh edges. This is supposed to give off the illusion of fabric, so we don't want to be too picky when it comes to those middle sections. I'm also adding little bits of wrinkles with a black NYX liner, just to give it some more depth, especially up near the collar there. I'll go through and do the same on the bottom. I'm going to add more small lines at the very top portion of that bottom segment. Now that we are almost done with the collar, I'm going to finish this up and we'll come back and start on the face. So I'm starting off with Mayron's Clown White cream paint, just to lighten up my skin tone. I did already do my foundation, but I put this on over top of it to make me look even paler, because we want to look like a jester. So again, I am just lightening up my skin tone. I want to, it's going to resemble clown makeup. We're doing the Fool from the Major Arcana of Tarot. For those of you that aren't familiar, like myself, I'm actually using this project to learn more about tarot because it's something that I've been interested in a long time. So the Fool represents new beginnings, freedom, innocence, spontaneity, adventure. So I'm going for a really light and fun type of appearance by doing clown makeup. I know that for a lot of us, myself included, clowns aren't my favorite thing in the world, but this card it's represented by bright, fun colors, so I'm going to be doing lots of oranges and pinks on my face. There I just used an orange shadow to contour to give a little bit more color back to my face because I don't want to look dead, I just want to look, you know, like a clown. I'm going to start at my eyebrows. I'm, again, just using the black Mayron Paradise paint. Trying to give myself some serious arches. I want to look very painted on. When this card is reversed in tarot, it can represent being reckless, careless, foolish, gullible. And so I wanted to kind of bring that into the look by giving a bit of seriousness with my brows. Trying to remind myself that they are sisters, not twins. I focused on my brows a bit too much, but we all get caught up in our makeup looks. So now I'm using my Jawbreaker palette from Jeffree Star. I'm going to be doing a opposite look here. So I want the red on the top on this side and on the bottom over here to give it symmetry but also playfulness. I'm gonna go in with another shade here. It's gonna be more of an orange base. I end up using a few shades mixed together to get the brightness that I really want. Jeffrey's pigments are incredible. If you've never used his products, there's nothing like that. This color is beautiful, but it wasn't as intense as I wanted it to be. So I end up going in with a setting spray on my brush to pack that pigment in really, really good and give it a nice color payout. Now I'm using a brighter orange to go on top of that pinky shade because I wanted it to be brighter. I'm gonna top these up with a red glitter pigment and an orange glitter pigment. I wanted it to pop a little bit more and give it some more youthful appearance, make it fun, childish, so we went in with some sparkles. Now I'm going to use a NYX Chubby pencil for my waterline. I'm using a white shade to make my eyes look bigger with the final look because I'm going to be adding a lot of dark black makeup to create the lines for the jester. So I wanted to make my eyes pop a little more. Now I'm going in with Jeffree Star's Bloodlust palette, adding some of the Executioner shade to give it a little bit more definition on my eye shape. I felt like everything was kind of blending together. I also contoured my nose there with the remaining shadow on my brush just to make my nose pop out a little bit more. I want it to look pretty skinny. Oh, it's messy bun time, friends. You know your makeup look is getting serious when your hair goes up. Alright, so now we're going to start creating the jester image by creating lines going through my eyes. This part was probably the hardest for me. I kept messing up, nothing was turning out even. And in the end, they did come out to be a little bit wider than I wanted them, but it worked out. And in the way of the fool, you gotta kind of adventure out, branch out, roll with the punches, and see what life brings you. It was smudging a bit on my eyes, so I started using the Mehron paint as opposed to the NYX liner, just because it does dry down faster and it's less likely to pop up on the upper side of my lid when I look up. I'm gonna go in and even this out a little bit more and drag it up higher to my forehead. I want it to almost touch the dots on the top and the bottom, but not quite. Oh, there we go. Yep. It lifted onto the top of my lid. I have to go in and fix it. So we just put some more shadow over it and roll with the punches. Nothing is perfect. Alright, so I did this on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye. Alright, so now that we have both sides done, I am going to grab my Bloodlust palette again, and I'm just going to go on top of this black with the shade Executioner, showing off that beautiful purple and pink sparkle to that black pigment. It is by far one of my favorite shades in this palette. This is just going to add a little bit more fun to the look because it turned out a little darker than I wanted. So this is going to give some purple sparkle to the pigment. I then decide to continue this out on the bottom by adding a few more little details off to the side. So I just use my NYX liner to give it kind of a star-like appearance. Remember, I want to keep this look very fresh and very young. I want to represent freedom and innocence for the Fool card. So I just make the designs a little more childlike. I think a lot of this had to do with the fact that I am terrified of clowns and I wanted it to look a little more approachable. In the end, though, it kind of gave me a sad girl look, but I'm still happy with the end result. I think it turned out very well. Next up, we are going to do my nose. I jumped ahead a little bit here just because I was talking with Chad a lot right there. So I'm just doing a little black button nose, just to give it more of a silly clown-like look. Time to free the mane, no more messy bun. Next we will be moving on to the lips. So here I am just using a ColourPop liquid lipstick. That is my favorite red lip of all time. They are another brand that has amazing formulations, and they have never let me down, so I will continue to use them. So we're going to drag out the corners of our lips to make it look more clownish. I'm also lining with this black Mayron paint on the edges, doing a bit of an ombre effect on the corners there to add some shadow. And I end up messing with my mouth here for quite a while because I could not get these lines equal or straight for the life of me. This is very, very difficult. But with enough time and patience, we end up with something that we're happy with. I'm also going in with Executioner again just to add some sparkle right along those edges. I don't want it to look too harsh, and the paint was giving me very harsh lines, so I used that shadow to blend it out. Oh, cute Denver is snoring back there. Keeps flopping around. Alright, time for lashes. Just gonna glue these suckers on right on top of that black paint. These are actually lashes I got from Spirit Halloween this year. Surprisingly, they are pretty decent quality, and they have a nice, big, extravagant wing on the edge to add to my star-like effect, because I want this to be very youthful, very light. Even though I am using a lot of dark shades, I wanted it to be more fun than scary. Alright, that's our face makeup. Just fixing my mouth again because I can't. Okay, now it is time for the wig. This is almost the final touch. Let's see if we can get her on there. Perfect. Very, very good. The color kind of ties the whole look together. As much as I love my bright orange and red hair, it was a little bit too crazy for this look. Showing off my prosthetic ear from my Halloween look that we did. We did Lore Olympus cosplays. That was my makeup cart. Oh, we're showing off the dog. He finally woke up from his long nap. He is ready to play. Chose to go with pigtails because I did think that it was a little spooky with all the long hair, so I wanted to make it look like a kid. And yeah, that is my look, guys. We're finished. This is the Fool from the Major Arcana of Tarot. This is how it turned out. I'm super happy with it. I had a great time painting. The next one we're doing is the Magician, and I'll be uploading that soon. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. If you liked the video, please follow and subscribe. I'll be live on Twitch on this Friday. Thank you.